You're only going to get one per day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good one because you can do some cool things once you siphon off someone's soul. But it's very, it's going to be very limited, So honestly, it's those first levels.
I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
I'm Nerdarchy Dave.
Welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds. All right, so we're here to talk about reaction spells. What kind of inspired this thought?
I don't even know, to be honest with you, but it occurred to me, I'm like, I don't think we've ever done a video on reaction spells. I mean, we have tons of list videos throughout the wazoo, so I was like, hey, we haven't done reaction spells, and some of them are like the best in the game, and some of them, and the most controversial in the game.
So, we've got a list of things that we're kind of gonna go through, but, we've never done a top 10 list for reaction spells. So, is there a reason why?
I don't know. We're still not going to. Because you can't. There's only 9 in the game.
So 3 of the 9 spells aren't in the player's handbook, and 4 of the 9 spells can actually be upcast for better effects.
That is all true. We're going to go into kind of more in depth of what all the spells are and the breakdown. But before we do,
why not come check out the pre-order for Mageforge? It's our deck of magic item tarot-sized cards that you can add into your 5th edition game. Each item is going to come with its own unique piece of art and the item description on the back. Jump down to the description below, find that link to that pre-order page, and get your copy today.
Yep, it's your last chance to get Kickstarter exclusives from the Mageforge Kickstarter. Links, card, description, you know the drill. All right, so let's go over the 9 reaction spells that we have in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons.
So first up, we've got Absorb Elements. I didn't start the fire, but, I'm going to burn you with it and take half damage while I do it. We've got Featherfall. Look, Ma, I'm skydiving.
Without a parachute. Hellish Rebuke is, oh, you hit me? Oh, no, I hit you, but with fire. And then we also have Shield, and it's, oh, you think you hit me? No, I don't think so.
So from Strixhaven, we have Silvery Barbs. You suck, and now I don't, or my friend doesn't. We're going to go into level 2 spells, and from Acquisitions Incorporated, we have Gift of Gab. No, that isn't what you heard.
So for levels 3, we get Counterspell. You thought you cast that spell? No, you didn't. And 5th level, we have Temporal Shunt. And, oh, you're going to try and hit me? You go to timeout. You're in the corner.
So from 6th level, our last spell is Soul Cage. Oh, you thought you could escape by dying? I don't think so.
All right, so reaction spells are hugely popular in pretty much everyone's game. I gotta say, what wizard doesn't take shield or counterspell? Those come up all the time. Counterspell is something that people really hate or really love. We've had all kinds of wonky things happen in our own games because of it. Because we've had counterspell ping pong where multiple casters are trying to cast spells and everyone keeps counterspelling.
Counter. I mean, I've heard some horrendous stories of DMs counterspelling a healing spell. And that's a bit controversial, heated topics. It's definitely a lot of fun.
It is definitely a jerk move. I love it. I know in your game that you ran, I had a character with a super high armor class that also had access to the shield spell. So you're like, I rolled the attack. Did I hit you? And Ted looks at me to see if I'm going to cast shield or not.
And that's actually, something that my son is, kind of getting involved in. We're actually going, just a couple of days, we're going to start a new campaign. And he can't wait to get to level 4 so that his paladin can take magic initiate to get access to shield. Yeah. So that he can be able to all right, I'm going to really be the tank of this party. So it's going to be amusing once he gets there.
Well, the thing too about reaction spells is they happen outside of your turn. So, the limits on how many spells you can cast doesn't count for your reaction spells, which is super cool. Absorb Elements is another favorite of mine. I mean, essentially it lets you take half damage from energy, and then when you attack someone with a melee attack, you then add a die 6 of energy damage, and you can upcast that to increase that die 6. I've literally fireballed myself in the middle of the enemies to take, and then cast that as a reaction to take half damage. And and then upcast that absorb elements to do even more damage with my attack. I was playing a Gish, so it kind of worked, and a lot of times that character was hasted. So being able to do that, I could cast Fireball where I was standing, absorb elements, and then if I made the saving throw in addition, so you're only taking a quarter, and then on top of that, I will then attack with my axe and do depending on what level spell I hit them with, my axe damage plus.
Right. Yeah. It was an absolute nightmare of things that Dave's Uthengar character wound up hammering into my foes or his foes, my minions. So it was definitely a lot of fun. Silvery Barbs I've seen used a handful of times. It seems a little bit newer.
It is newer, it's a newer spell compared to all the other reaction spells. And, the other thing about the reaction spells in 5e is that most of them are first level spells.
Indeed. I mean, with only, 4 of the 9 really being in that, that higher level space, that definitely opens it up to being able to be usable by a lot of people. So whether you want to get access, via a couple of feats that could get you access to one of these things, you can really look at, oh, well, this means something to my character. Or it can ask the kind of question of what kind of caster has reaction spells. Like, are they super preparatory for a lot of different situations? It's like, all right, I've got to go to, this is my attack. But if one of these things happen, I'm prepared.
I'm kind of surprised that we don't see more use of Hellish Rebuke. But it is a little bit harder because I believe the Conquest Paladin gets access to it and the Warlock only, right? Mm-hmm. And then obviously Tieflings, right? That's where you see it used the most, I feel like. Now, I don't know what folks are doing in their own games. In our games, I think one of the things we'll probably start doing since Wizards has gone in this direction and is basically if you get a spell from another source that's now on your list, and then I think it would get a lot more use as well. Mm-hmm. But also, that could be pretty cool, especially when you upcast it. It's hard for a Warlock because they just get so few spell slots. It's like, do I want to do this a little bit of extra damage, or do I want to do something else with my 2 spell slots?
Right. But, when it's outside of your turn, like if you're going with a Warlock that is meant primarily to attack, I mean, yeah, you're probably going to Eldritch Smite, and that might do more damage, but, depending upon, compare contrast, you might be like, nah, I'm just going to rebuke them and, swing away.
Yeah, and then hopefully they're dead before their attack kills them essentially. So there's that. There's definitely that. Top reaction spell, your opinion?
I gotta go with Shield. It has been a nightmare for me as a DM and been an absolute savior for me as a player. I kind of did that similar thing. I went with my Artificer Battlesmith, who I used my Iron Defender to cause disadvantage on the attack roll and be able to shield. So a couple of times a day I could be like, nah, I'm going to be safe from your attacks.
Yeah, with that combo, you can even stop in at 20, which Shield typically does not stop on its own.
Yep.
But with Iron Defender giving disadvantage, they'd have to roll 2 20s to make that happen.
And while it can happen, it's pretty darn rare. And it saved, my character skin a number of times. How about you?
I would throw some love towards Soul Cage, but it's a 6-level spell. It's just not going to come up that much. You're only going to get 1 per day. Yeah. I mean, it's a good one because you can do some cool things once you siphon off someone's soul. But it's very, it's going to be very limited. So honestly, it's those first levels spells. Shield and Absorb Elements. For me, I almost always take Absorb Elements if I can. It's on a lot more spell lists. But also Shield as well. So
sure.
So it just depends on what I'm playing. But yeah, those 2 are the tops.
And I gotta give the honorable mention to Counterspell because it is such this heated debate of you either love it or you hate it. And there are so many. I think there's so many more great stories about Counterspell that go out than there are about Shield or Absorb Elements.
That is true. It definitely is. It tends to be a bit more pivotal in an encounter than those others. The other ones are just like Old Faithful. You can rely on them.
Completely.
They're going to come up over and over again. Question is, what are you using in your games? What is your favorite reaction spell? How would you list yours? Let us know down in the comments. Share your thoughts and ideas with the Nerdarchy community.
While you're down there, don't forget to do all those fun things like share, subscribe, even go ahead and click on that notification bell so you don't miss a single video.
Quick reminder, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays we drop new videos here on the channel, so come on back. Can't wait till then. No worries, we've got you covered. D&D's most powerful magic, the witch spell card up here.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.